TV series, been in 24, Supernatural, Endgame, V, Smallville, and of course, we all remember him as the lovable Dr. Carson Beckett from Stargate Atlantis. Please welcome the wonderful Paul McGILLION.
You know, I give the closest person like a little toss and she falls, she drops it. Who doesn't like a Twinkie in the morning? That's all I gotta say. Good morning, you cheeky little buggers. For God's sakes. You know what, thank you so much for having me. You know, I don't know if you know this or not. Is that my costume you have on right there?
Not this one, no.
Is that, what flag is that? Pardon?
Spain.
Spain? I love Spanish people. I grew up in Ontario. My parents lived in Niagara Lake. My mom and dad, my mom just turned 77 last week. That's why I'm in town here. I'm working on a TV series. I thought, you know, well, I'm here. They said, listen, there's a convention going on. I'm like, I'm in. Jewel State's here, one of my dear friends. And her, myself, and Adam went out last night. It was such a great time. But to be in Toronto, in your kind of hometown, and do a convention, I've done one other appearance in Toronto, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But it's so great, because I come back here, I have so many friends here, and then walk around this convention. What a cool group of people you guys are. I've had such a great time. It's been so much fun, and meeting a lot of you yesterday, and hopefully more today, later on. It's been a lot of fun, so I really appreciate you having me here in Toronto. Are you guys awake right now? I'm breaking the ice, you realize that, right? On the first talk, right? Okay, so I just woke up. My wife called me a little while ago, and she has a little, well, we have a little nephew now. He's like 6 weeks old, and she's staying at her sister's house, and he's crying like a little baby, you know. She goes, his name's Case. She goes, Case just woke me up. I'm like, well, guess what? I'm waking up now too, because she's in Vancouver. I'm like, it's like way later. I'm like, and she goes, he's crying. I'm like, I'm crying right now. And I just got fun. I go go talk to a bunch of lovely people. She goes, how many? I'm like, I don't know, a couple hundred. She's like, really? I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, and they're a very, very sexy crowd. Stop by fence. I'm gonna tell the story because I love it. You know, Stargate was so much fun. I know we you know, finished 17 seasons of Stargate, 10 seasons of Stargate SG-1, 5 seasons of Atlantis, 2 seasons of Stargate Universe, 17 seasons of Stargate. Pretty amazing accomplishment, right? When you think about it, most shows get canceled. You know, it doesn't work after 2 episodes. They're like, we're going to cancel your show. You know, we did, you know, 100 episodes of Stargate Atlantis. Pretty cool to be on that show. And I've been all over the world, you know, and still go all over the world with the show because of the fan base. And that's because of you guys. Because there's no other fan base in television, I think, that is like sci-fi. You know, people, I also quit it. Some people watch football, some people watch basketball, and some people watch sci-fi, you know? And I love that, you know? I met so many people, I'll go there now, like when I first did my first convention, I was so nervous, I was in Germany, you know, and I was with, do you know Tara Rothbury? She's great. Great friend of mine, Janet. She plays Janet Fraser. Was that her character's name? Yeah. See, I know Stargate SG-1 too. And I remember I was in Germany at a convention, and you know, you're kind of nervous. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? What am I going to say? The show hadn't even aired yet. And Tara's talking. She goes, oh, don't even worry about it. You know, it's fine. Just going to go out there and blah 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 blah. We're talking in the hallway before they introduce the actors that go out, and all of a sudden, what happens is, and Tara Rothbury, and she just turns into this little thing. She kind of turns around the corner. She's like, jumps, has a little, and just jumps onto the crowd and laughing. And then they introduce me, and there's kind of a spattering of applause because the show is not aired yet. I walk out like a stick man. I'm like this. I'm like, hi, and this journalist. Everybody's smoking cigarettes inside. And the journalist goes, your character, Dr. Carson Beckett, on the show Stargate Atlantis, is a humorous character. I'm like, oh, thank you. You, Paul McGILLIon, as a person, are you humorous? And he's like, I'm like, I like to think I'm pretty funny. And he's like, yes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. But what I realized later on is that the German people, if you really listen, they're not big out loud. They don't laugh out loud very much. So when I'm at FedCon and there's 3,000 people in the audience, and they're just, it's like silence, like crickets. And then afterwards they come up to me and go, your talk was hilarious, I was laughing my head off. I'm like, really? He goes, yes, oh my God, I was cracking a gut. I couldn't believe how funny it was. I'm like, oh, thanks. I didn't feel the love, my friend. Let it out, let it out. Love Germany. Anyway. Settle that young man down, for God's sakes. Security, escort that man out. We'll have no babies in here. Started doing the stove. My parents, my dad's almost 80 years old. My mom's 77. Got married 58 years. That's pretty cool, right? I love it. I'm one of 7 kids, 6 boys, only actor in the family. Started acting, my dad's like, what the hell are you doing? I said, I'm an actor. He goes, for God's sake, you're acting. What the hell, what kind of game you playing that, man? I said, well, you know, I have a teaching degree. He's like, you're a teacher. Teach, for God's sakes. I go, Dad, I'm going to move up to Vancouver. I started acting, you know, supply teaching in Toronto a little bit for 1 year. He's like, you're doing what? I said, Dad, I'm pursuing the acting. He goes, oh my God. Stop fooling around with the ladies. I'm like, I'm not, Dad. I'm just like, you know. And then we started acting, you know, and I'm out there and I got a job on a show called The X-Files, you know. So I call him up. He has no idea about any of the terminology for acting. He's like, so I call him up and said, Dad, he goes, what's it called? I said, when you get a gig, you know, if you get a gig, they call it an acting gig. Then you got a gig. So I answer the phone, and of course they talk really loud on the phone because he screamed because he lives in a farm, you know. Well, so I call him up, I'm like, hello? I'm like, hey, Dad. And he goes, are you in Vancouver? I'm like, yeah, you don't have to yell. It's like, you know, it's long distance, right? It's fine. I can hear you. No problem, man. Janet, my mom's name. Paul's on the phone. Any gigs? I'm like, yeah, I got a job in the X-Files. X-Files? That's on television. I'm like, yes, it is. And he's like, great. How much do you make for that? I told him, he goes, bloody fantastic, yeah. Absolutely. My son's an actor. So, I get the job on Stargate. I call him up. You know, I go, Dad. He's like, hello. I said, hey, Dad, how you doing? He goes, hey, Janet, Paul's on the phone. Any gigs? I said, actually, I did get a job. He goes, what is it? I said, I'm playing a doctor. A doctor? Janet, we have a doctor in the house. Fantastic, man. What is it? I said, Stargate. What? I said, Stargate. What? I said, Stargate. Star Trek. Stargate. Star Trek. I said, Stargate. Star Trek. I said, no, Stargate. Stargate Atlantis. Not bloody Stargate. Star Trek. I've been watching it for years.